Welcome and thank you for joining us today. I'm presenting on behalf of Neybor Consulting, where we help small businesses and new federal contractors win and deliver government work. Today, we're going to walk through FAR Part 12, the section of the Federal Acquisition Regulation that governs how the U.S. government buys commercial products and commercial services. If you sell something the commercial market already buys, software, laptops, training, IT services, office furniture, this is the part of the FAR you will live in. Over the next 203 slides, we will define the key terms, walk through every subpart, look at the required clauses, the streamlined procedures, and finish with 2 real-world examples and a summary of common pitfalls. Let's begin. Here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with foundations, what FAR Part 12 actually is and why the U.S. government has a strong preference for buying commercial products and services. Next, we'll lock down 3 definitions that drive every decision in this part of the FAR: commercial product, commercial service, and COTS. Then we'll tour all 6 subparts of Part 12, from the policy in 12.1 through the streamlined procedures in 12.6. After that, we'll dive into the required clauses, the tailoring rules that govern what a contracting officer can and cannot change, and we'll close with 2 end-to-end worked examples and a summary of common pitfalls. Let's start with foundations. So what is FAR Part 12 in plain English? It is the chapter of the Federal Acquisition Regulation that tells federal agencies how to buy commercial products and commercial services, the same kinds of things you can already buy in the commercial marketplace. Its goal is simple: use the commercial market wherever possible, apply commercial terms wherever practical, and shed government-unique requirements that do not fit a commercial buy. Why does that matter? Look at the 4 tiles on the right. First, it is commercial-friendly. The terms mirror what private sector buyers already accept. Second, it is faster. The streamlined procedures cut weeks out of the timeline. Third, it carries lighter compliance because many government-unique statutes do not apply when you sell commercial. And fourth, it has broad reach. Part 12 covers everything from a box of paper clips to a multi-million-dollar cloud subscription. If you understand Part 12, you understand the lane the government most wants to buy in. Why does this matter to you, the contractor? 3 numbers tell the story. First, more than 60% of federal procurements rely on commercial item authority. Part 12 is not a side door, it is the front door. Second, under the recent FAR 2.0 reorganization, the simplified procedures for commercial buys go up to $7.5 million. That is real money you can win without ever touching a heavy negotiated procurement. Third, in declared emergencies and major disasters, that threshold rises to $15 million. Look at the chart on the right. A typical Part 12 award often closes in around 45 days. Compare that to a fully negotiated Part 15 procurement that can stretch past 5 months. Faster awards mean faster revenue for you and faster mission delivery for the agency. The government is incentivized to buy under Part 12, and you should be incentivized to learn it. FAR Part 12 is organized into 6 subparts. Think of them as 6 chapters of a playbook. Subpart 12.1 sets the policy. It tells agencies that buying commercial is the preferred approach and defines the order of preference for satisfying agency needs. Subpart 12.2 covers special requirements: market research, contract type selection, technical data rights, options, and novations. Subpart 12.3 lists the solicitation provisions and clauses you will see in every commercial buy, the famous 52.212 series. Subpart 12.4 carves out the unique commercial terms and conditions like warranties, acceptance, and past performance. Subpart 12.5 lists the laws that do not apply or apply differently when you are buying commercial, and an even narrower list for COTS items. And finally, 12.6 gives the contracting officer streamlined procedures to combine the synopsis and solicitation and award fast. We will visit each one in turn. The first definition you must know: cold is commercial product. FAR 2.101 says a commercial product has to clear 2 gates. Gate 1, it is customarily used by the general public or by non-governmental entities. Translation, there is a real commercial market for it. Gate 2, it has been sold, leased, or licensed to the public, or at least offered for sale. There is also a third path for a product that has evolved from a commercial item through technology advancement and is not yet available but will be in time for delivery. The examples on the right are the easy cases: a laptop, a cloud subscription, an off-the-shelf vehicle, office supplies, standard tools, Scott's cybersecurity software. If your product looks like something a Fortune 500 company would buy on a normal Tuesday, you are almost certainly inside this definition. Now, commercial services. The FAR splits these into 2 types: Type 1 is installation, maintenance, repair, training, or other services performed in support of a commercial product, but only when those services are offered to the public on the same terms and conditions you would offer the government. So if you sell laptops and you also offer a maintenance plan that any private buyer can purchase, that maintenance is a commercial service. Type 2 is standalone commercial services. Services of a type offered and sold competitively in substantial quantities in the commercial marketplace, based on established catalog or market prices for specific tasks performed under standard commercial terms. Think IT help desk, managed services, janitorial, professional training, payroll services. The key word is substantial. Your service has to actually move in the commercial market, not just be theoretically available. COTS, commercially available off the shelf, is the strictest of the three categories. For an item to qualify as COTS, three things must all be true. 1. It is a commercial product, the definition we just covered. 2. It is sold in substantial quantities in the commercial marketplace, not boutique items, real volume. And 3. It is offered to the government without modification, in the exact same form in which it is sold commercially. The diagram on the right is the mental model. The big outer box is everything the government buys. The yellow middle box is commercial products and services, the world of FAR Part 12. And the rust-colored inner box is COTS, the smallest, strictest category where the most laws and clauses get carved out. One footnote: bulk cargo, things like raw petroleum or unprocessed agricultural commodities, is specifically excluded from COTS even if it is sold in huge volumes. Knowing exactly which box your offering lives in tells you which laws apply, which clauses are required, and how much room the contracting officer has to add or subtract terms. Here's the rule that drives everything else in Part 12, the order of preference at FAR 12.101. The contracting officer must work down this ladder. Step 1 is the most preferred path. Buy a commercial product or service as it already exists in the marketplace, no modifications. Step 2. Buy a commercial product or service with only the modifications necessary to meet the agency need, and only minor modifications at that. Step 3. If no commercial option works, look at non-developmental items, things like products developed for state or local governments or for foreign markets. And Step 4, the last resort. Develop a government-unique item or service from scratch. The point is simple: the contracting officer cannot jump to a custom build just because it is familiar. They must justify why a commercial option will not work. As a contractor, this rule is in your favor. The law is pushing the buyer toward you. Subpart 12.1 sets the policy. In 1 minute, the contracting officer must do market research before any acquisition to determine whether commercial products or services can meet the need. They use Part 12 procedures in combination with Part 13 simplified procedures or Part 15 negotiated procedures to actually award. And they treat COTS items as a subset of commercial products. Most rules that apply to commercial products also apply to COTS. The right side shows the workflow, which actually starts in FAR Part 10. The contracting officer first identifies the requirement in performance terms, then surveys the market through industry days, requests for information on SAM, Gov, and sources sought notices. They assess each candidate against the FAR 2.101 tests for commerciality. Finally, they document the decision in a memo to file and pick the acquisition path. As a contractor, every one of these steps is a chance to influence the buy. Respond to RFIs. Show up at industry days. Tell the agency your product is commercial and prove it. Subpart 12.2 is where the FAR adds the special requirements that apply only to commercial buys. The list on the left has 12 sections. The most important to know are 12.202 mandatory market research, 12.207 contract type, 12.209 past performance, 12.211 minimum technical data rights, 12.212 commercial computer software, and 12.215 the requirement to consider GSA schedules first. On the right is the contract type rule from 12.207, and this trips people up. Commercial buys default to firm fixed price. You can also use fixed price with economic price adjustment when the contract has to deal with inflation or commodity index changes. You can use time and materials or labor hour, but only for commercial services, and only if the contracting officer signs a determination and findings showing no other type would work. And cost type contracts are prohibited entirely under Part 12. So when you propose, expect FFP and price accordingly. Subpart 12.3 covers the clauses you will see in every commercial solicitation. There are 5, the 52.212 series. Number 1, 52.212-1, Instructions to Offers. This is the streamlined set of submission rules. It is incorporated by reference and replaces the giant proposal instructions you would see in a Part 15 negotiated buy. Number 2, 52.212-2 evaluation, the only optional one. The contracting officer uses it when they want to spell out the evaluation factors and their relative importance. If you do not see -2 in the solicitation, the evaluation criteria are still in there, just stated differently. Number 3, 52.212-3, representations and certifications. The consolidated reps and certs. Most are updated annually in sam.gov, so you usually just confirm them rather than fill them in fresh. Number 4, 52.212-4, contract terms and conditions. The commercial master clause. It covers payment, inspection, warranty, termination, all drafted to mirror commercial practice. And number 5, 52.212-5, the pick list of clauses required by statute or executive order. The contracting officer checks the boxes that apply. Memorize these 5 and you can read a commercial solicitation in your sleep. Tailoring under 12.302 is one of the most misunderstood rules in Part 12. 3 columns: what the contracting officer may tailor, what they may not, and when a waiver is required. On the left in green, what the co may tailor, they can change paragraphs of 52.212-4 that do not reflect customary commercial practice for the specific item. They can add agency-unique terms like delivery instructions or packaging, and they can insert evaluation factors through 52.212-2. In the middle, in red, what they may not do, they cannot tailor 52.212-4 in a way that is inconsistent with customary commercial practice. They cannot waive statutory clauses required by law or executive order, and they cannot rewrite the basic commercial preference. On the right, in gold, when a waiver is required. If a contracting officer wants to add terms inconsistent with commercial practice, that requires a documented agency-level waiver. All tailoring must be by addendum, with Block 27A of SF 1449 marked. Practical takeaway: if a solicitation has heavy non-commercial style language baked in, that is a red flag. Ask the CO whether a waiver was obtained, or whether the buy should really be under Part 12 at all. Subpart 12.4 holds the unique terms and conditions that adapt commercial practice into a federal contract. 4 areas to know. Warranty. The default is the contractor's standard commercial warranty. The contracting officer can only require an expanded warranty if it is cost justified. So provide your standard warranty terms in your offer. Do not let the CO write them for you. Acceptance generally occurs at destination, and you can use the same inspection criteria you use commercially. Align your inspection points to what you already do, not to a custom government process. Past performance is treated as an important evaluation indicator under 12.206. Keep your CARS records updated, keep references warm, and have a current past performance one-pager ready. And financing under 12.210 follows commercial norms. Progress payments and partial payments are allowed when justified, so ask for invoice or milestone payments tied to delivery. The theme of 12.4 is consistent. What works in the commercial market is what should work in the contract. Subpart 12.5 is where the government carves out laws that do not apply, or apply differently, to commercial buys, and the carve-outs are even bigger for COTS. The chart on the left tells the story. A standard FAR procurement gets the full statutory load. Commercial product buys get roughly 13 statutes carved out under FAR 12.503. Commercial services get a similar list under 12.504. And COTS items get the largest set of exemptions, 16 or so, under 12.505, including portions of Buy American Act domestic content tests. The card on the right lists the notable ones to know. Walsh-Healy, parts of the Service Contract Act, cost accounting standards which do not apply at all to commercial item contracts, the partial Buy American waiver for COTS, and a long list of reporting and record-keeping clauses. The takeaway: the more your offering looks like pure off-the-shelf commerce, the lighter your compliance load. That is the business case for keeping your federal offering aligned with your commercial offering. Subpart 12.6 is the speed lane. 2 sections matter: 12.602 streamlined evaluation and 12.603 combined synopsis solicitation. Take 12.602 first. When evaluation factors are used, the contracting officer can insert a provision substantially the same as 52.212-2. The criteria need be no more detailed than 3 things: technical, price, and past performance. Technical capability is evaluated by how well the offered product or service meets the requirement, with no preset subfactors required. Examination can include product literature, samples, technical features, and warranty terms. The award decision must still trace cleanly to the criteria stated in the solicitation. On the right, 12.603, combined synopsis solicitation. When the contracting officer plans to issue a written solicitation, they can combine the FAR 5.203 public synopsis and the solicitation itself into a single document. One document acts as both the public notice and the solicitation. This shaves weeks off the schedule and is the most common procedure for IT, professional services, and FFP product buys. As a contractor, when you see a combined synopsis solicitation hit sam.gov, the clock is short. You need to be ready to respond in days, not weeks. Let's walk the workflow end to end. Step 1, market research. The agency surveys industry through sam.gov sources sought, RFIs, and industry days, and confirms that commercial offerings exist to meet the need. Step 2, the combined synopsis solicitation hits sam.gov as a single document. This is your green light. Step 3, vendor questions. Read the amendments carefully because the answers often reshape the requirement. Step 4, quotes or offers due. You submit your technical response and price. Step 5, streamlined evaluation under 12.602, technical, price, and past performance. Step 6, the award. The CO issues an SF 1449 to the winner and performance kicks off. Notice the time bar at the bottom. The synopsis period is typically 15 days. Evaluation can run 1 to 4 weeks, and many awards close within 30 to 60 calendar days. Plan your bid pursuit cadence accordingly. Speed is the entire point of Part 12. Every commercial buy travels on a single piece of paper, Standard Form 1449. The illustration on the left shows the key blocks. Block 1 is the solicitation number. Block 4 is the eventual order or award number. Blocks 7 and 8 tell you who issued the buy and where to send your offer. 17A is your contractor info. Blocks 19 through 24 hold the schedule of items, your line items, quantities, unit prices. Block 25 is the total award amount. Block 27A, and this one is critical, tells you whether addenda are attached. If that block is checked, the contracting officer has tailored terms in addition to the standard 52.212 clauses, and you must read those addenda first. You sign Block 30 to make an offer. The contracting officer signs Block 31 to award. Until that happens, you have no contract. Only a quote, outstanding. The form is short, but every block matters. Get comfortable with it. Let's walk a real example. An agency needs 500 standard business laptops in 60 days. Step 1, classify. Laptops are a textbook commercial product. They are sold widely in the commercial market, and the agency wants them off the shelf with no modification. So they are also COTS under 12.103. Step 2, select procedures. Because this is below the simplified acquisition threshold, the contracting officer uses Part 12 in combination with Part 13 simplified procedures and posts a combined synopsis solicitation under 12.603 to sam.gov. Step 3, build the package. The CO uses SF 1449 with the standard 52.212-1, -3, -4, and -5 clauses incorporated by reference. They use 52.212-2 to state the evaluation criteria, technical capability, price, and past performance. Step 4, award and deliver. The vendor wins on a firm fixed price basis. The contractor's standard commercial warranty applies. Acceptance occurs at destination per 12.402. Payment runs on commercial invoice terms. Notice what is not in the picture. No cost accounting standards, no extensive cost or pricing data, no government unique reporting. That is FAR Part 12 doing its job. Now a services example. An agency needs 247 managed IT help desk and Tier 2 support for 1,200 users, base year plus 4 option years. The process steps on the left walk it through. Classify. Managed IT support is sold commercially in substantial quantities, so it meets the 2.101 commercial service definition. Procedures, because of the dollar value and the option years. The contracting officer uses Part 12 in combination with Part 15 negotiated procedures. They might still use a combined synopsis if the requirement is straightforward, or a full RFP if more complex. Contract type, the default is firm fixed price for a fixed scope statement of work, T&M or labor hours allowed under 12.207, but only with a documented determination and findings showing no other type would work. And past performance is heavily weighted under 12.206. References, CPARs, commercial customer letters all matter. The right card shows what is different from the laptop example. Labor categories matter. SLAs are embedded in the SOW. The Service Contract Act may apply to non-exempt labor. Performance-based work statements are preferred, and past performance carries more weight than it does for COTS product buys. Same Part 12 framework, very different proposal. 6 pitfalls we see again and again. Please avoid them. 1. Treating commercial as a label rather than a test. Your offering must actually meet the FAR 2.101 tests, and you must be able to prove substantial commercial sales. 2. Missing tailored terms hidden in addenda. Block 27A of the SF 1449 flags whether addenda are attached. Read every one before bidding because that is where the real risk lives. 3. Not pricing for fixed price risk. Commercial buys are mostly FFP. Build adequate contingency for scope drift, escalation, and the cost of carrying option years. 4. Relying on Part 12 to skip rigor. Streamlined procedures do not mean low standards. Past performance, technical capability, and price are all still scored. 5. Ignoring SAM.gov reps and certs hygiene. Most representations are pulled from your annual SAM record. Stale or incomplete SAM data can render your offer unresponsive. And 6. Assuming COTS exemptions when you have actually modified the product. Any modification beyond minor knocks you out of the COTS category and back into the broader set of applicable laws. Be honest about what you are selling. FAR Part 12 is in flux. The recent FAR 2.0 rewrite from the FAR Council reorganizes Part 12 with 3 changes you should know. First, the structure is reorganized into 4 subparts in order of operations: pre-solicitation, solicitation evaluation and award, post-award, and micro-purchases. The intent is a cleaner step-by-step playbook. Second, the simplified procedures for commercial products and services have been moved from Part 13 into Part 12, and the threshold has been raised to $7.5 million. That is a real expansion of the simplified lane. And third, when the president declares a major disaster or contingency operation, that simplified ceiling rises to $15 million for commercial buys. The takeaway: even more procurements will route through the streamlined commercial lane. If your business depends on government revenue and your offering is commercial, the regulatory wind is at your back. 6 takeaways to carry with you. 1. Definitions decide everything. Get crisp on commercial product, commercial service, and COTS, because the category you fit determines which clauses and laws apply to you. 2. Commercial is the preferred path. FAR 12.101 forces the contracting officer down a ladder, with commercial first and government unique last. Use that bias when you tell your story. 3-5 clauses run the show. Master 52.212-1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. Always read every addendum, and let Block 27A of the SF 1449 tell you when terms have been tailored. 4. Speed comes from 12.602 and 12.603. Combined synopsis solicitation plus streamlined evaluation can compress award into 30 to 60 days. Be ready to respond fast. 5. COTS is the lightest compliance load. Sell to the government the way you sell commercially. Avoid modifications that pull you out of the COTS exemptions. And 6. Treat past performance as a product. Maintain CPARs, keep references warm, and capture commercial customer letters. Under 12.206, past performance is an evaluation factor on every commercial buy. That is FAR Part 12 in 203 slides. If your business is selling something the commercial market already buys, software, hardware, IT services, training, professional services, Part 12 is the lane built for you. If you would like help applying any of this to your specific offering, this is the moment to act. Visit neyborconsulting.com and book a free consultation. We will review your commercial offering against FAR Part 12, identify the right contract vehicle and procedure, and build the artifacts you need to compete: past performance package, capability statement, pricing strategy, and proposal templates. Go directly to neyborconsulting.com. Thank you for your time today, and good luck out there.